Yep, I think things have been going well. A lot of us were on edge as this election approached. How can an election be conducted in a pandemic? Can we have socially distant in-person voting? The massive numbers of in-person early voting. It's been voter enthusiasm, but also election officials, some of them pulling all-nighters, but I think working very hard. And, all the ballots have to be counted. And I think that's what we're seeing in all of these states.
And these people, they are volunteers, right?
No, what we're seeing now mostly is the paid workers, the
Okay.
professional staff who are working through these. In some of the states, like Maricopa, I just pulled up a video in Maricopa. They do have some volunteers in there for Shep. Imagine you get 1 million pieces of paper, right?
Ugh.
It's not just processing that. You got to flatten that paper so it can be read through the scanners. So it's volunteers plus professional staff at this point. A lot of caffeine. That's definite.
The Maricopa numbers trickled in a little bit earlier. You saw those, and we have those on the big map. And we know that in about an hour, at about 12:30 Eastern time, so about 3 hours from now, we're going to get another drop from Maricopa County. But from what you know about it and where the votes are in Maricopa County and what we know about its voting history, what we know about the exit polling, is it your sense that this Biden lead here could evaporate, or is the White House just dreaming?
I think it's going to evaporate, but it's not going to evaporate enough. The margin that needs to be made up statewide, it's like if President Trump chips away 5 votes at every drop of more results, but I just don't think there's enough votes remaining in Maricopa. And Maricopa, is a slight, Shep, the challenge is we don't know exactly who sent in those late ballots and what they are, but I don't think there's enough. He'd have to win, 2/3, 63, 64% remaining. That's going to be hard.
It'll be hard, but, the one thing we know for sure is Vice President Biden told his people, go out and vote early and mail it in because COVID and everything else. And President Trump said, don't worry about it. Go vote day of. So day of votes might skew toward President Trump, and maybe that's the reason that they think they have a real shot here.
Yeah, I think it's been a whipsaw for everyone yesterday. We were up late yesterday, and we're up early this morning. But yeah, this whipsawing, I'm hoping in the long run, Shep, it's going to be educational, really. And, for citizens to realize we don't need to learn right away. It's not the end of the world if we wait 24 or 48 hours and give local election officials a chance to do their job.
There is the option, if people wanted to exercise it, of just tuning this stuff out, not watching the count, and then later you find out what it is. But see, for me, that would be like Ole Miss and LSU playing, and rather than watching the game, I'm just going to wait till I get the score on my phone. For me, that would be.
Are we back to Big Ten football again? Oh, wait a second, SEC.
It's just that there's just Ole Miss and LSU. We're tribal in politics now, and for me, I can relate every single bit of it to Ole Miss and LSU because it does not matter what Ole Miss does. I am for them, and it matters not what LSU's doing. I want whoever's playing them to beat them badly and in a humiliating way. I mean, nothing against the great people of Louisiana. I have a lot of great friends there, but I hate LSU. And our politics
you're not go Tigers.
Not for 1 second. We have our own words for that song, which I can't do even here on cable. But I mean, seriously, I believe that politics are that now. We are tribal, and it does not matter. On my side, I am for my side, and I am against your side. And I don't, as an observation more than an opinion, it's not healthy.
No, I had an interview yesterday with a journalist from Brazil who asked, is this like the way we think about football in Brazil? And I said, unfortunately, it really is. It's tribal right now. Shep, you've probably seen some of these numbers. These may sound like strange questions for your viewers, but you ask, would you feel unhappy if your son or daughter married a Democrat or Republican? And the numbers have really gone up. It's not just that we disagree with the other side, but we see them as really a threat to the democratic order. And that's dangerous. I hope we can move away from that.
Everything's cyclical. It comes and goes. And, at some point you realize, that this isn't working and it'll change. The tribal part of it, you hope that goes away and that you stick to what are your principles? What do you really care about? How do you feel about how the world ought to be? And I guess we'll get back to that at some point. Not about one side or another. I'm talking about both sides.
Oh, look, my hopes are this historic high turnout. We continue to have a high turnout. We continue to reform some of our registration laws to make them more automated or automatic. And then I think both parties are going to have to respond more to a broader set of the citizenry.
Yeah, the more people who vote, the better. I think every founding father would agree with that. Hey, Paul, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Shep.
All right.